Cruising is advertised as this amazing all-inclusive vacation, and while that's true, it's not actually the whole story. So I'm going to explain what is actually included in your cruise fare, what almost always costs extra, and exactly how much money you should budget beyond the cruise fare depending on how you like to travel. So a lot of people, when they picture the all-inclusive cruising, they picture unlimited food, endless drinks, and that one single price that's going to cover all of that. And honestly, that's not completely wrong, but it's also not the full picture. Start with what you are actually paying for. The biggest part of that is your cruise cabin. And this is going to be your home away from home. But your cabin is much more than just a place where you sleep. You're also getting daily housekeeping, so fresh towels, fresh linens, trash servants, room attendants who clean your room multiple times a day on some ships. But even if it's just the one time a day on most ships, that's one time a day that you don't have to clean anything yourself. And can you imagine, because you have to leave the dogs at home, not having to clean a single dog hair for an entire week? Or having to clean up after your kids for an entire week? You get to come back to your beds made, fresh towels replaced, your curtains drawn in the evening for you, and sometimes cute little towel animals waiting for you. You don't get that at home. A side note for first timers, inside cabins are often hundreds of dollars cheaper than balconies. And if you're the type of person who likes to be out all day and explore the ship or on excursions, you can save that money. That savings can go a long way towards your land excursions and other things you may want to do on the ship. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notifications so that you're notified once a week when we drop a new video. Transportation. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't think about until later on when they're comparing the costs. So your cruise fare includes transportation between multiple destinations, fuel, port fees, the crew, the navigation, the safety, all of that stuff having to do with transportation. You unpack one time and your floating hotel moves with you from island to island to island. To me, this is one of the biggest hidden values of cruising because a lot of people don't factor in the transportation costs of other kinds of travel. Let's talk about included dining, and there is a lot of it. This is when cruising really surprises first-time cruisers. I remember when I was on my first cruise and they told me at dinner that I could order multiple entrees. So I did. Your cruise fare includes the main dining room, which offers multiple courses during your meal, rotating menus, and any dietary accommodations that you might need. You also get the buffet, which includes some of everything for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Also at the buffet, you get a lot of international options, you get a lot of comfort food options and healthy options, all for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It also includes casual spots on board like pizza places, cafes, hot dog places, sandwich shops, cafes that have sweets, and these are going to be places for your in-between type snacks. Like if you don't feel like going to the main dining room or the buffet, then you can go grab a bite at one of these places. A lot of these places are located in public areas, so you can sit there, have your sandwich, have your cookies, and just people watch. Your entertainment is also included in the cruise fare. Every night on the ship, there's going to be something happening in some venue. You've got Broadway style shows, live bands, comedy performances, game shows, trivias, dance parties, movies under the stars, dance clubs, and unlike land vacations, you don't have to buy tickets. You don't have to pay cover charges. You don't need reservations for most shows. Your onboard activities, way more to do than just pools. You've got trivia and contests, fitness centers, fitness classes, cooking demonstrations and cooking classes, wine tasting. Some cruise lines have educational talks, and almost all cruise lines have kids clubs and teen programs. On certain ships, you might get rock climbing walls and miniature golf, sports courts, surf simulators, mini roller coasters, skydiving. You see where I'm going with this? Some of those premium attractions like skydiving are going to cost a little extra, but most of them don't. You also get your basic drinks included, and this works for most people. So you'll get water from the dispenser, not bottled water, but from the dispenser, lemonade, iced tea, your coffee, your milk, and certain juices during breakfast. So if you're not a big soda or a big alcohol drinker, you can get away with spending nothing extra for drinks on cruises. All right, now let's get into the dreaded what costs extra and why. First one I want to talk about, almost every cruise line charges a daily gratuity. I'm gonna cover the room attendants, your dining staff, and support crew that you don't ever see. Your typical gratuities are gonna be anywhere from $16 up to about $25, and this is going to depend on what type of cabin you have, and this is also going to be per person per night. So for the sake of simple math, let's say your gratuities are $20 a day and you're on a 5-night cruise. That's going to be $100 per person. And you can prepay these, which is what I strongly encourage first-time cruisers and any cruiser really to go ahead and do, so that you don't even have to worry about it. Otherwise, it's going to show up at the end of your cruise on that bill. All right, let's talk about alcohol and specialty drinks. Alcohol and specialty drinks like specialty coffees aren't going to be included in your cruise fare unless you purchase the drink package or purchase a cruise fare that includes those types of drinks in that cruise fare. Otherwise, you're going to be paying as you go. So you're looking at cocktails anywhere from between $12 and $16, beer between $7 and $9, wine between $9 and $16. These are just averages. And then your specialty coffees anywhere from $4 to about $8. A drink package can make sense, but only if you drink enough. If you average 4 to 5 drinks a day, it could be worth it. If you only average about 1 to 2 drinks a day, All right, next let's talk about specialty dining. This is optional and not required. Cruise ships offer specialty restaurants, so if you want like a quieter atmosphere or date night vibes, or you just want an extra elevated food menu, then specialty restaurants are going to be your thing. Prices can range anywhere from $25 and up, but this is a luxury add-on. This is not a necessity because you already have all that food we just talked about. Your shore excursions are also going to be another big budget item. It's probably going to be one of the biggest costs. You don't need to book excursions in every port. I mean, a lot of people don't, but you can if you want to. And I will throw in here that if you pre-purchase your excursions, especially during like Black Friday, and as a matter of fact, pre-purchasing your excursions and your dining packages and your drink packages all during a time like Black Friday can save you so much money, okay? You can explore all of the ports on your own, book selectively, like I'm gonna book this at this port, but then I'm just gonna do my own thing at this port, or just enjoy the ship on port days. That's actually an amazing thing. You get to get on the water slides, and there's not like these long lines. There's no long lines for everything. So yeah, you don't even have to step off the boat. Just enjoy the whole boat practically to yourself on port days. All right, internet and being connected. Now, do you really need to be connected at sea? Do you really need to be connected on vacation? Okay, like, can you disconnect just for vacation? No, most of us can't. I admit I do work. I do videos and stuff on cruise ships. So I need to have my connection, and Wi-Fi is pretty much always going to be extra. Your typical costs are going to be between $15 and $30 a day, or you can get discounts for like purchasing internet for the full length of the cruise. And also, like your drink packages and your specialty dining, if you purchase internet during Black Friday, you're probably going to get an even bigger sale. But a lot of cruisers just completely unplug, and I am all about that life. Then you have this category that I'm going to bundle. It's like the spa, your photo packages, just the little extra onboard stuff that you can do. And these are going to include things like your spa massages, your spa facials, your professional photography, and any onboard shopping that you do. All right, so let's pull it all together. The budget beyond the cruise fare. So if you're a budget cruiser, you want to make sure you have your gratuities, enough for at least one excursion. So I would say anywhere between $200 to $300 extra. Your average first-time cruiser is going to also have gratuities. They may do 2 or 3 shore excursions, a few drinks, and maybe a specialty meal, and some Wi-Fi. So I would say for you guys, about $400 to $600 per person. If you're wanting that premium experience, you're probably going to get the drink package, the specialty dining, multiple shore excursions, the Wi-Fi, and maybe the spa, then you're probably gonna budget about $800 to $1,200 extra per person. So here's the truth that cruise ads don't quite explain well. Cruising isn't actually a one price fits all, and that's actually a good thing, because you can cruise affordably, control your spending, and choose where you want to splurge. As long as you understand what's included and what's extra before you sail, then cruising becomes like the most flexible vacation type. You can have it your way. If this video helped you, like the video, subscribe to Cruiseaholics Anonymous, and drop your questions down below. Until next time, happy cruising.
All I do is cruise, cruise, cruise.